Good morning. I think everyone under the age of 50 can agree that we can't live without our smartphones. They become an extension of our lives, after all. However, I believe that smartphones have ultimately been a detriment to not only negative mental and physical effects to the body, but also by changing society as a whole. As an avid user of a smartphone, I have seen firsthand how they have affected not only others, but also myself. So, today I will be covering the physical, mental, and societal consequences of smartphones, as well as the things we can do to alleviate these issues in our own lives. First, let's begin with the physical consequences of smartphones. There are several physical effects smartphones can cause. One of the most obvious is neck and back pain resulting from poor posture looking down at your smartphone for too long. Another is eye strain and the issues that come with it, such as burning and itching, blurred vision, and most commonly, headaches. There are also issues stemming from radiation. Though the amount smartphones produce is small, it can lead to a greater chance of receiving cancer, as well as a decreased sperm count. Next, let's move on to some of the negative mental effects smartphones can give you. There are plenty of negative effects they can have on the brain. Since smartphones give you access to information anytime, anywhere, you can become reliant on that, and thus your brain does much less processing. Given that smartphones let you store info remotely, it heavily impairs your memory since you become too dependent on it to remind you. Because of the lack of face-to-face communication and the way interactions through smartphones typically work, it can also make you more terse and less patient with others when speaking face-to-face. Next, I'll discuss some of the effects smartphones have had on social life. This may be the most important aspect in the negative consequences of smartphones, as these area produces the most problems. The most obvious is lack of in-person communication. Many people choose to have very important conversations via messaging or social media instead of doing it in person, which affects direct conflict resolution. Smartphones can often make you choose between interacting with other people around you or just using your smartphone, ignoring them. Also, people often expect you to be digitally connected 24/7 and get back to them instantaneously, which can lead to addiction and thus a lack of sleep. Also, many people base their self-worth based on how they receive attention online. Many people compare themselves to others and often join in on bandwagons because of a fear of missing out. But most importantly, smartphones just make people less social. Instead of going and talking to someone around them, they use their phones and avoid all conversation. Now let's discuss some of the ways we can alleviate these issues. Of course, I'm not going to suggest you give up your phone entirely. In this day and age, it's next to impossible. However, there are things you can do to make the negative impacts of smartphones less prevalent. Put it down in areas you know you probably shouldn't be using them. If you're in the presence of other people you know, and they're having a conversation, put the phone down and listen in or add to the conversation. The most common place where this happens is at the dinner table. Let's keep our manners. Keep your phone out of sight. Merely having it near you gives you the urge to use it. The time when this is the biggest offender is before sleeping. You scroll for far longer than you need to before bed, and then grab your phone as soon as you wake up. Put it far away from your bed so you get the proper amount of rest. You could buy an alarm clock to wake you up instead. But the most obvious solution is to just simply limit your usage. You can set timers to reduce the amount of time you spend on your phone. And if you don't have the will to do that, you can have someone hold you accountable. Another way to limit your usage is simply by spending time on other activities or hobbies. Now that I've covered some of the negative effects smartphones have and a few solutions, let's recap. In conclusion, I discussed the physical, mental, and societal consequences of smartphones, as well as a few things you can do to combat them. I hope you've come to understand a few of the negative impacts smartphones have had on society. Perhaps, through a few of the practices I've described today, we can alleviate some of these issues in our own lives and not let these devices control them. Thank you.